Hey guys, it took me a little while, but today I am finally continuing the Color Wheel series that I started about a month ago. If you don't know what it is, basically I'm using this color wheel and I'm going to draw a picture that uses one color per picture, so 31 pictures total. And there's no deadline set on this, it's just whenever I want to do it. It just seemed like a fun idea. I will link to the first video in the end slate of this video, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. That first one was a greenish yellow color, and this is a slightly more yellow greenish yellow. So it's not a huge difference, but definitely a lot different drawing. The other one was a person on a tree. This time it's a person on a motorcycle. I don't really know why I chose this for my drawing, but I wanted to draw a person on a motorcycle, and I mean, yellow motorcycles are a thing, so I went with that. I tried out a few different poses off camera before I decided with this one. I didn't want something super actiony because mostly I wanted to focus on the rendering for this, and I just didn't feel like drawing an action pose, but you know, one of these days I'll do another one. So one technique that I'm using that I've never really tried before is after I sketch everything out, then I'll add the base colors and I'll lower the opacity. I always do that, but what I did differently this time is I went over everything and kind of refined all the lines, so it was almost like a line art. And this wasn't super intentional. I was kind of just listening to music and going along, and I felt like it would be more organized if I did that. In the end, I don't know if I really want to continue doing it. It kind of takes away from like the organic painting kind of look, and I feel like it gives me less freedom to add things wherever I want them once I get that solid line art. But you know, I might incorporate a little bit of it, just maybe not to the extreme that I took it this time, but it was fun to try out, and now I know kind of how it works. So yeah, I am currently still working on that. You can see I'm just like erasing things, adding colors, and when I want to add shading, shading in these is really easy because since it's all one hue, you can just shade with black, which you're not usually supposed to do, but in this kind of illustration, I focus on changing the saturation more instead of the hue, and that kind of gives a more wider variety. Especially with these yellow tones and then later the orange tones, like it's easy to get a nice brown because that's just part of yellow and orange. And once you have like the main yellow color, even just a more desaturated yellow looks like brown relative to it, and I'm not totally sure why that is, but it just works, so it's really handy. And even though obviously this color that the person is not usually what you'd use for a skin tone, it seems to make sense, at least in my eyes it does. I did want to talk about this hair. I'm actually very happy with how it turned out. One thing that I did that I've been kind of slowly getting used to doing is I will put more effort into the sketch of the hair and actually dividing it into different chunks that make sense. And then once I get to the painting stage, I don't have to worry too much about dividing it all up. I can just shade it how I would just like a normal kind of thing, and I like how it looks. It will take practice, and it kind of looks a little bit stiff at this point, but I feel like eventually I will get it to a point where I'm happy with it. I know that I'm on the right track at least. Now I'm just focusing on cleaning up the background a little bit. It's not a super complicated background, but I just wanted something in there. I wasn't sure quite what to do for the sky color. At first I had it as the main yellow color because I thought since it is the main color, maybe it should be a big part of the drawing like the background, but in the end it kind of just made the characters seem less important and less of a focal point. So what I did instead is I made the sky color a more desaturated, darker tone, and I made her jacket the main yellow color. And then it draws your eye to the jacket and then to the character. I also made the motorcycle main bright color too because that was the main inspiration for this. Yeah, I feel like I could have done a bit more to draw a bit more attention to her face, but I feel like the added detail helps with that too. Anyways, here is the finished illustration. Thanks for watching. Bye!